Hello everyone, today I am going to be reacting to this article titled Lucy Connolly Loses Jail Sentence Appeal over Southport Race Hate Post as Tory councillor husband brands decision shocking. So yeah, I'm presuming a lot of you have already heard of this story, but yeah, let's start reading this. The wife of a Conservative councillor who was jailed for posting an online rant about migrants on the day of the Southport murders has lost a bid for a cut in a 31-month prison sentence. 31 months for what she did was way too harsh for the crime she supposedly committed. In many people's opinions, it shouldn't even be a crime. At worst, it was just unsightly, so to speak, or maybe unpleasant. Maybe it was for the best she didn't say it, but it's not worthy of a prison sentence. Lucy Connolly was jailed last October over the post on X, formerly known as Twitter, in which she wrote, "Mass deportations now set fire to all the hotels full of migrants for if that makes me racist, so be it." The post came on the day 3 girls had been murdered in a stabbing spree by 𝐋𝐈𝐍𝐿𝐒 at a dance class in Southport amid signs of national unrest. Plenty of people are protesting about this, and I think recently they found out that, at least they proved that these riots weren't far right after all. I think they were just people who were angry at the current state of affairs of this country. At the Court of Appeal last week, Connolly gave evidence from prison, saying she never intended to incite violence and did not realise pleading guilty would mean she accepted that she had. The government tried to blackmail you or coerce you into pleading guilty instead of not guilty, because if you plead not guilty, it's going to be a lot harder for the state to actually convict you and put you in prison or give you some other penalty. The court heard she lost her firstborn child at 19 months old after hospital blunders, and she says she was triggered by news of the child murders in Southport. It was very emotionally charged. It wasn't like she thought about it logically. She thought the whole thing through, then after that she decided to post it. I think you can tell by the nature of the post that she was very emotional at the time of posting that tweet. It's not like she was in a neutral emotional state when she sent that post. Delivering their ruling on Tuesday, 3 senior judges, Lord Justice Holroyd, Mr Justice Goss and Mr Justice Sheldon, rejected Connolly's bid for a reduction in a sentence. I think the first one, Holroyd, is at least he has a Labour or Liberal establishment bias. I think I've heard that somewhere. I think there's this first one. I haven't heard of these other two. But of course, Lucy Connolly's sentence has been very politicised, and there are people who want her in prison just because of her political views. And most people, I think she shouldn't be in prison. I forget what his name was, but there was a Labour councillor, I forget, Rick something, I forget his name, but I think he said something along the lines of slit all the throats of certain people who have certain political views or certain people of certain political party. I think he got arrested, but I don't think he ever got found guilty in court or had to serve a punishment or anything like that. If he did, I'd never heard about it. The judges said they rejected the argument that the tweet was no more than an expression of emotion which could not be taken seriously. The words of the tweet are on their face an incitement to serious violence they set out. Connolly claimed that she had not understood the lengthy sentence she faced when agreeing to plead guilty, and accused the lawyer who represented her of failures in his duties. But the Court of Appeal, which heard evidence directly from Connolly, called her story incredible and concluded her evidence to this court showed her to be intelligent and articulate, with strong views, and, because of the circumstances in which her son died, a deep mistrust of anyone who might be regarded as a person in authority, telling her what to do or what to believe. Given her personal circumstances at the time of her arrest, and her understandable concern for her daughter, any reference to a prison sentence, let alone a sentence based on a starting point of 3 years, must have caused her great anxiety. In those circumstances, we are quite unable to accept that she signed the endorsement without any understanding of its references to the culpability factor or the starting point. The judges refused to accept Connolly and was in a state of ignorance in conferences with a lawyer before entering her guilty plea and ahead of her sentencing hearing, when she did not put forward a basis of plea or challenge the serious categorization of her crime. What crime did she commit? She supposedly sent a post on X which could be interpreted as incitement to violence. But there are people who are committing way worse crimes and they're not getting put in prison. I've literally seen cases where people probably a migrant probably raped a girl and the sentence was something like community service or something like that. It's very obvious that we have a two-tier justice system in this country as of now. The judges went on to reject the argument that Connolly had been treated too harshly by the sentencing judge. We of course have every sympathy with the applicant over the death of her son, and we can understand why she remains angry about the circumstances of his death, they ruled. And I think that's people protesting about this case. Okay. We can therefore accept that the shocking events in Southport had an impact on her which went beyond that felt by many others. But as the judge rightly said, she did not post a message of support and sympathy to the victims of the Southport attack and the bereaved, nor, we would add, did she post a message of hostility confined to the perpetrator of the Southport attack. She chose instead to incite serious violence against large numbers of persons. The applicant's personal history cannot significantly reduce her culpability for that serious offence. The Court of Appeal decision means Connolly must wait until the summer to be set free, once she has served 40% of the prison term, which is it's probably somewhere 12 plus months. I think I did the math in my head earlier. It was a little bit over a year, or something before she gets released. I might be a little bit wrong though. I think she gets released sometime this year, but I think the bigger thing to say is that she never should have been in prison in the first place. Connolly told the appeal hearing that she had been really angry after the Southport attacks, but hours after posting the rant on X realised it was not an acceptable thing to say, so deleted it. Her barrister Adam King asked if she had intended for anyone to set fire to asylum hotels or murder any politicians. Naeem Valley for the prosecution told the court the post was a reflection of her attitude towards immigrants. He added at the time of creating the post that an applicant clearly intended that racial hatred would be stirred up and also intended to incite serious violence. Earlier he had asked Connolly if she believed the country was being invaded by immigrants. She replied, "I believe that we have a massive number of people in the country that are unchecked coming into the country, and I believe that is a national security risk." She added that it would be absolutely incorrect to say she did not want immigrants in the country. Connolly of Northampton was arrested on the 6th of August of last year, by which point she had deleted her social media account, but other messages which included further racist remarks were uncovered by officers who seized her phone. This is what I mean. The police officers in the country will be willing to look for anything you did throughout the entire course of your life, even if it has nothing to do with the crime itself, just to try use it against you. It is pretty desperate, to be honest, and honestly I think it shouldn't really be a thing because it has nothing to do with the case itself and it just makes you look worse. I think that more rules need to be put in place with how people are sentenced and what evidence you can produce. On the 5th of August, the day before she was arrested, Connolly sent a WhatsApp message which included the words raging tweet about burning out down hotels has bit me on the bum, lol. Lol. The judge who jailed her also noted that she had sent over messages as riots swept across the country saying that violence was not the answer. And yeah, just to be clear, the violence is not the answer. People should voice their concerns through words, not through physical actions. The former childminder, who is married to Raymond Connolly, was sentenced at Birmingham Crown Court last October after pleading guilty to a charge of inciting racial hatred. Inciting racial hatred is just like an anti-free speech charge. It comes from some, I don't know, Malicious Communications Act or something like that, which is blatantly anti-free speech. Yeah, I think we're coming towards the end now. Mr. Connolly had been a Tory West Northamptonshire district councillor, but lost his seat in May. He remains on the town council. Responding to the ruling, Connolly's husband said he was heartbroken by the shocking and unfair decision. He said, "My wife Lucy is a good person and not a racist. As a childminder, she took care of small children and of African and Asian heritage. They loved Lucy as she loved them. My wife has paid a very high price for making a mistake, and today the court has shown her no mercy." Connolly brought her appeal with the support of the Free Speech Union, which said the judgment was deeply disappointing and that the sentence was plainly disproportionate, which it is. It cited the cases of 3 others, including 2 jailed for their roles in the disorder following the Southport attacks, who received shorter jail terms. Philip Prescott was jailed in August last year for 2 years and 4 months after admitting violent disorder in Southport, with Merseyside police stating that he threw missiles at police. That's like probably random objects, including a brick from a damaged garden wall. Harris Gaffar was jailed for 20 months in September, also by Judge Idman, after admitting the same offence, having kicked a door during efforts to storm a pub wrongly believed to contain English Defence League members in Birmingham in August. But Sentencing Council guidelines state that the maximum jail sentence for violent disorder is 1 of 5 years in prison, with a range of between 3 and 4.5 years custody for those who commit Category 1A offences. I don't know what that is. Lord Toby Young, the General Secretary of the Free Speech Union, said, "This is terribly disappointing. How can it be right for Lucy to have been condemned to spend more than 2.5 years in jail for a single tweet when members of grooming gangs who plead guilty to the sexual exploitation of children get lower sentences?" Like, this is what I mean. This is what I mean by what I said earlier. Like, many of these grooming gang members are either getting lower sentences or they're not getting prison time at all. They're getting like community service, as I said earlier. Lucy should be at home with her 12-year-old daughter and husband, not rotting in jail. And that is the end of the article. I don't have much to say. I think I gave most of my comments whilst reading it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.